Hey Gamer Nation, Splash Dash here. It's been about 4 months of discourse. Sonic Frontiers was first formally revealed about 4 months ago, and since then, we've had a dirge of videos, demos, previews, interviews, and impressions.
What's the best Sonic game?
Sonic Adventure 2.
What's the worst one?
So, before I eventually squeeze the blood from the stone and make an assload of content about Frontiers, I thought I'd take advantage of the last few weeks of mystery and hype, and update my impressions from the first video I did. If you didn't watch that one, you should, because, I worked really hard on it. But if you don't want to, let me give you the Cliff Notes version. I thought it looked like garbage.
Garbage day! Huh? No!
Broken animations, lame-looking environments, boring, uninspired gameplay, the gang's all here. I know I said in my previous video to come back to it and tell me I'm a shitlord idiot head if the game turns out good, and I still stand by that, by the way. But I've noticed a lot of people saying that my impressions video overall aged like milk when... No, that was still a very bad reveal. Nothing they reveal now can change the way they initially presented the game and my knee-jerk reaction to it, you know? But the past is in the past. Let's just be like Elsa and let it go.
Be like Elsa?
Given the dirge of pre-release material, I'm gonna break the video up into sections and, in a change of pace, start with the negative stuff and work my way into being more positive. I read it in a book once, like being positive is good for you, apparently.
Copy and paste. There's a lot of hidden dangers out there in cyberspace.
The cyberspace levels look bad. Wait, did we cover the cyberspace levels last time? Cyberspace levels are this game's version of the special stages. The framing device here being that the Matrix is making up these levels from Sonic's memories.
Whoa.
Instead of something gimmicky like the half-pipe or the rotating maze, these stages instead play similarly to the previous Boost Formula games, and feature such iconic vistas as Sky Sanctuary, Chemical Plant, Road, and, of course, Green Hill Zone. I can't think of a joke, so you just come up with one.
A Green Hill Zone looking a lot more like reused Hill Zone right about now.
Copying stage aesthetics again would be one thing, incredibly annoying absolutely, but ultimately ignorable in the grand scheme of things. However, the recycling is way worse than that, my dudes. Not only do they decide to copy the same fucking stage themes we've seen ad nauseum, but the rabbit hole of Sonic nostalgia pandering has reached a ludicrous crescendo, and gone to the deepest pits of self-parody. These guys, in their infinite hubris, just straight up copied level designs from other Sonic games. Yes, you heard that correct. I'm not joking, I'm not pulling your chain. A major component of this game is just reused Sonic levels with slight tweaks to work with the Boost formula. And nobody really seems to care. Why? Man, Sonic fans should get a job maintaining football fields, cause these gamers sure do know how to move goalposts. I already spilled my bile at certain sects of the community in my last video, so I'll try to keep it brief here. But good God almighty, do I need to get this off my chest? Or else it'll fucking burst from my stomach like Baby Springtrap from the hit Five Nights at Freddy's short story Into the Flesh. My alter ego, evil twin, whatever the fuck, I don't care, is gonna be doing a FNAF Books video soon, so go watch it. It'll be Freddy-tastic. Honestly, I wouldn't even care about the backpedaling from some fans if they were more upfront and honest about it. First it was, well, okay, it's not actually Sky Sanctuary, the video is just blurry. Then when it was revealed as Sky Sanctuary, it went to, well, I don't care as long as the level design is original. Then when that turned out to not be true at all, it shifted to, well, it's only going to be a third of the game. We liked the original, so this will be good too. It gets kind of embarrassing after a point, like, it's okay to admit you're fine with this mediocrity being handed to you. No, really, I'm not being sarcastic here. A simple, I don't care is enough. Alternatively, just say, I don't care about the quality of the game, I just like funny blue rat. I like eating slop, please Sega, feed me more from the trough. I really don't help myself, do I? What I'm most worried about here are the controls. It really seems like they've just taken the open world Sonic, removed some abilities, and called it a day. It doesn't even look like it's catered towards this level design. You know, because this level design literally wasn't made to cater to this control scheme in the first place. If you watch folks playing the demos of Cyberspace, they fling all over the place left and right, Sonic runs at a snail's pace, and to state it as eloquently as possible, it doesn't look fun. They specifically said you can't customize your controls for Cyberspace like you can for the open world, which certainly doesn't help. Oh yeah, you can customize certain elements of Sonic's controls, but we'll get into that later. Honestly, I just think Cyberspace in general is seemingly a big waste of development time. Why make such a big deal about taking Sonic in a bold new direction while shoehorning in the stuff you're attempting to get away from? Like, it's a greatest hits compilation done poorly. Wait, I hear something echoing in the distance, a certain sound. So, as per usual copium procedures, the defense devolves into, it's only a third of the game, it's all totally optional. The open world is the main portion, so who cares about cyberspace? I have to ask if you even understand what you're saying. Do you think before you speak? Do you know what the drivel coming out of your mouth implies? You absolute donkey. In what world would it be okay for any portion of your brand new $60 game, or upgrade to the digital deluxe edition for a crisp $10 extra to be bad, or at best, mediocre, let alone an estimated fucking third of it? Speaking of which, Sonic Team has gone on record saying that Frontiers should take you 20 to 30 hours to complete. Double that if you want to get everything, so a maximum of 60 hours.
Unfucking likely.
So first of all, going off that Cyberspace 1/3 argument, if the main game truly were 30 hours, that would mean 10 hours of crappy Cyberspace levels. Why in any way whatsoever would that be alright? Because it's apparently optional? That excuses all the resources and time that went into what could have been spent elsewhere? Don't worry though, I don't think that's gonna be the case at all. Because not only do we have folks playing the game for the first time at public demos getting all the way to the second of 5 islands within 30 or so minutes, but also Sega are known for stretching the truth on this sort of stuff, giving us a best case scenario. I recall when Forces was coming out, I was really curious about the length. Sonic games were especially shorter on that time, so I was worried I was in for another 2-hour budget title. But don't worry, when asked about length, the director assured us that Forces would be longer than Generations. See, what he really meant there. Do I think Frontiers is going to be a 3-hour game? Not at all. But I'm going to get my expectations in check for an adventure somewhere around 7 to 8 hours. I'm sure somebody out there could spend 30 hours beating it, if your name is Aaron Hansen. But the average Sonic fan, I'm thinking, will beat it much quicker. Speed is the name of the game after all.
I gotta go fast.
God damn it!
But hey, at least it won't be miserably short like the past, I don't know, decade of Drek. See, I can say decade of Drek while not including Generations because it's 11 years old and not 10. So ha, you can fight bad guys and weird looking grape things, but you can't fight the quick decay of time as it feasts on your soul. The combat looks kind of fun.
Did somebody mention the door to darkness?
The reveal from the IGN first, surprisingly, didn't do it any favors, but from what we've seen so far, I can glean some appeal. I like how the homing attack is now mapped to its own dedicated button, instead of something you have to do after jumping. This allows you to close the distance between an enemy and looks really satisfying. Kingdom Hearts 3 has a similar mechanic and it feels really good here, so I can see the appeal. Plus, the animations look really cool in some instances. I really like this Sonic boom kick. It's not amazing, but I'd say it's the best animation in the game, which is sad, but, you know, take what you can get. I will admit I'm a bit worried how all these varied moves they're showing us are going to translate to gameplay when you actually have to, you know, press buttons and stuff. I've heard from a lot of people who've played it that it can be quite button mashy, which I'm worried about, as if killing an enemy is just a case of hitting one button over and over again, then it might as well just be a homing attack, you know, like the one Shadow had in Sonic 06. It seems like a lot of this will rely on how the enemy AI is programmed, so I'm hoping we can have some genuinely tough and challenging foes to face that require full knowledge of Sonic's skills. A lot of the best action games rely on your understanding of frame data, character movesets, and being able to make split-second decisions. It seems like this might be the case, but I can't be too sure as of now, mostly due to their obsession with being secretive and mainly showing stuff from the first island. I mostly just hope it isn't easy. That's a big issue recently with Sonic games. Forces had a hard mode and it still played like a baby game. I don't understand the mindset that kids and casual players want a game that holds your hand. Look at a game like Cuphead. It was a really big hit with people of all ages. I don't need it on that level of difficulty, but people enjoy a challenge, Sega. You really should listen to Sonic's advice.
An adventure's no fun if it's too easy.
Did you see the latest Nintendo newsletter?
Whoa, nice graphics. I'd like to get my hands on that.
One thing I am sure about though are the visuals. I still stand by my comments from the previous video. This game still doesn't look great. And while they may have fixed some of the animations, you know, the ones that were functional in a game 2 console generations ago, they're still mostly stilted and lame, the art design is boring, and the pop-in is still a huge issue. Multiple instances of paths and rails just manifesting into existence from out of nowhere. Elements of the level I should be able to see and plot my route on just gone until I'm right there. It is extremely amateur. And the worst part is, it's most likely going to be in the finished product. There's this great video by Nimsunny, a game developer who's also, for some reason, a Sonic fan. In it, he explains the flaws in Frontier's engine. It's a fascinating watch. I highly recommend it. On a more positive note, I was happy to see the cutscenes receive an upgrade in quality compared to Force's. Not animation-wise, they're about on par. I'm not sure why so many are claiming that it's such an improvement when honestly, I still wish Sonic were more expressive, with them taking greater advantage of his big ol' eyes. You know you can rig those eyebrows, right guys? Fans have been doing it and yielding impressive results for years, you should try it sometime. But the best part about them is undoubtedly the more varied and creative composition we're starting to see with the presentation. A lot of Sonic games' cutscenes nowadays have evolved into characters standing around having a quick chat, so I'm glad to see that even though Frontiers appears to have a plethora of those, they're at least conveying them in a better way. This scene with Amy plays with the staging a bit to pull off a cute little joke, showing Sonic teasing her in a playful way. You know, it's fun, and character that we've been sorely missing from most mainline entries. Okay, now let's talk about the real meat and potatoes of Frontiers. Get your ass ready, nerds, because we're going to talk about the open world.
Is Sonic Frontiers truly open world?
No.
What is it?
It is open zone.
Open zone. Yeah. From the looks of the demo, I love how it slowly reveals the world to you. It starts off very linear, and gradually becomes more and more open. You solve a few puzzles, fight a few bad guys. The mood and atmosphere is rainy and grim, it's really nice. You can even tweak certain aspects of Sonic's controls to better suit how you want him to feel. Sonic Team just said, if you're so smart, you fix it, and I couldn't be more grateful. The amount of options shows that you can really go in and change Sonic to how you personally want him to control, and that's something I haven't seen many games do. Once you have Sonic tuned to your liking, you continue on this simple, linear path that teaches you the game's basic mechanics, before you get dumped into the vast open area to fuck around and find out in. This seems to be something they continue to do throughout your adventure through each island. The more you play, the more they introduce intricate platforming challenges. Elements like reels or loops or whatever. Take a look at this screenshot. Look at how many points of interest there are. There's more to see that has ever been seen. You see all these puzzle elements, paths, structures to explore, even a big enemy off in the distance. It makes you want to explore and look around the open zone. This single screenshot alone does a better job selling me the game than an entire month of garbage that was piddled out over on IGN. As I see this though, I have a major concern. When a game relies on secrets and mystery to keep you playing, once you've seen it all, what makes you come back to it? With Zelda Breath of the Wild, a lot of the appeal in coming back is experimenting with its systems and trying to figure out new, interesting ways to break the game the developers didn't intend. But from what I can see so far, I can't tell if Frontiers will have that kind of staying power. The design seems too rigid to really experiment with. I can't picture you finding crazy new ways to cross the island that isn't just, here's a couple grind reels, have fun. Which certainly isn't helped by the fact that about every instance of this is preceded by a dash panel or spring, meaning you can't even use them to traverse around the zone in whatever way you want to. In this domain, you have to abide by Sega's laws. I've been waiting for this game for 5 years, and if this trend continues, I'll be waiting another 4 to 5 years for the next one. I would hope this game is as replayable as something like Generations, but I can't be too sure of that right now. Only time will tell. Who knows, maybe they'll make up for this with a variety of minigames like Big's Fishing, which I'm genuinely happy to see return. I also hope that meat cooking one isn't exclusive to the Monster Hunter DLC. I'm really hoping for a game that has a bunch of fun stuff to do, that makes me want to plop it in for a couple minutes when I want to just fuck around. My co-writer 100%ed Spider-Man on PS4, and still hops in sometimes just to swing around the city. I hope Frontiers provides that kind of feeling too.
Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together, mass hysteria.
While many of my concerns haven't exactly been eased, I can at least say I kind of get what they're going for now. I can see how this could be fun, and that's more than I could say before when they showed, that stuff. Am I hyped? Not necessarily. Like, excited, maybe. I'm interested to see how this turns out. If anything, if this doesn't turn out to be the 10 out of 10 we're all hoping for, I can at least appreciate that this could be a solid foundation they can build upon. Unlike previous games where coming up short means you get chucked to the west side, Iizuka seems to be adamant that this is the direction the franchise will take for the foreseeable future. So I can only hope that he sticks to his guns with that claim and not throw the whole concept away if it doesn't bring favorable results right away. If there is genuine untapped potential, I'd love to see it fully realized. For the first time in a while, I'm actually kind of hopeful that they may get this right. Maybe not in Frontiers, but in the future. Having said all that, it is sort of a breath of fresh air to see Sonic be seen in such a positive light recently. Frontiers discussions have more often than not been higher than any other game they share a convention with. Lines going on for hours. It's nice to see everyone wanting Sonic to succeed. Even people who make Tired 06 jokes. Hell, even in Japan, his home country where no one gives a fuck about him, Sonic Frontiers took home a Best of Show award at Tokyo Game Show. That is crazy to me. This is a Sonic game apparently good enough to get a disenfranchised public interested in him. But with all these eyes on the franchise, it only raises expectations more and more, higher than that one tower Sonic climbs in the game. Look at him go. Sonic Frontiers can't just be a good Sonic game anymore, it needs to be a good game in general. Amongst all the AAA releases coming out soon, it needs to show, at minimum, that Sonic has what it takes to be a title worth competing with the big leagues again. Kishimoto, the game's director, hopes that this title will propel Sonic Team back into being a major development studio in the eyes of the public. You wanted to play with the big kids, Sonic Team, so come on, show them what you got. In spite of my sardonic attitude and dry wit, I can say with 100% sincerity that I am rooting for you, and want nothing more than for you to succeed.
Ha! Gay!
I'm here, reaching for a cross.